Buffalo Bills training camp is right around the corner, and we have 5 positions that are up for grabs. For example, the cornerback position between Dane Jackson, Christian Benford, and Kaiir Elam, all getting rated by Pro Football Focus 1 point ahead of one another. Dane Jackson rated the highest, Kaiir Elam in the middle, and then Christian Benford right after that. But let's get into this video, the top 5 training camp battles here that could ultimately end up in a player being released and a player being traded. So we really have to take a look at all of these guys, and I'm going to rate it from least important to most important on this team. And really the first is going to be the wide receiver crew. And the reason why I'm making wide receiver the least important competition here, it's because they could rotate in, right? Gabe Davis, Trent Sherfield, Justin Shorter, Khalil Shakir, Deontay Hardy, they're all going to be mixing in. But who is going to be the Buffalo Bills' preference in 2023? Like, who's Josh Allen going to prefer being out there most of the time? One thing we did learn from Gabe Davis is that he took a dramatic step back last year when he had a higher snap count. When Gabe Davis works in a rotation, when he goes out there and every snap he's balling out 110%, that's when we see those toe drag swag situations, those catches on the sidelines, remarkable plays. You know, when Gabe Davis is fresh, that's huge. So having a guy like Trent Sherfield who could rotate in with Gabe Davis. But what I want to see is who is going to ultimately win that competition? Who's going to be preferred? Who's going to be the guy that goes out there first, right? Who's Josh Allen's number one guy on the outside? Justin Shorter, a rookie. There's multiple rookies in this video we're going to discuss. Justin Shorter could very well easily win this competition. Who knows? We got to see. Now, for Khalil Shakir and Deontay Hardy, who's going to be the preference in the slot this year, right? No Isaiah McKenzie, no Jamison Crowder, no Cole Beasley. Like, what is going to happen there? I think Khalil Shakir is really going to find himself in the slot position. Although he was working with Eric Moles, majority of the time, a perimeter wide receiver in the NFL, Eric Moles, but Deontay Hardy, Khalil Shakir rotating in the slot. Maybe we see a rotation with Khalil Shakir too. You know, maybe we want these guys fresh. Deontay Hardy, who's had injury-prone career to this point, but when he is healthy, one of the top slot wide receivers in the NFL. Now, moving on to the next competition here, I'm going to go with defensive end. And this is really going to boil down to who the Buffalo Bills want on this team. Now, we do rotate just like wide receiver, so a lot of these guys are going to still see snaps and play time, but will the Buffalo Bills potentially trade a player like Brandon Beane stated? Like, we could trade some players. We're that deep. So AJ Epinesa, Boogie Basham, Shaq Lawson, and Shane Ray. Now, for Shane Ray, he'd probably just be a release, but between Shaq Lawson, Boogie Basham, AJ Epinesa, I know Greg Rousseau is there too, but I think Greg Rousseau has really earned himself that opposite role to Von Miller. Greg Rousseau is definitely a top defensive end getting there, right? We expect more from Greg Rousseau, but again, this competition is going to boil down between AJ Epinesa, Boogie Basham, Shaq Lawson, Shane Ray. If we're comfortable with Shaq Lawson and Boogie Basham, do the Buffalo Bills maybe trade AJ Epinesa? Do the Buffalo Bills maybe trade a Boogie Basham or you know, getting rid of our draft picks? So we got to really check that out and see. And both these guys, all these guys are really power rushers, right? You know, Von Miller, that edge rusher, speed demon rusher. These guys utilize their power first and then occasionally beat you with speed. Now, the next positional need here for the Bills in camp battle is opposite corner of Trey White. Now, I know a lot of people, I've heard some people stating that Trey White is only a B caliber player now because of his injury. That is just mind-blowing to me when you hear guys like Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde, everyone, Sean McDermott, everyone on this team saying that Trey White's going to come back better than he ever was. But the opposite corner position here between Dane Jackson, Kaiir Elam, and Christian Benford. This thing is going to be up for grabs. We really have no idea who's going to be starting opposite of Trey White. Going back to 2022, when we had Dane Jackson filling in for Trey White, do the Buffalo Bills maybe prefer having Dane Jackson and Trey White still rotating early into the 2023 season because we don't fully know how Trey White is going to be? Having a full offseason, though, I really think Trey White could solidify that 100% snap count on the outside, locking things down. Kaiir Elam, Christian Benford, could they work in a rotation? But really, the question of this video is who is going to be the preference? Who's going to be the guy out there? You have a guy like Kaiir Elam who's got the height, the strength, working hard this offseason, needed some development his rookie year. Christian Benford maybe was a little bit more developed, had maybe a better understanding of the game when entering the NFL last year, but now we're starting to see these things starting to crisscross, right? So I really think Kaiir Elam would be the best option opposite of Trey White just because of his size, his measurables. But again, if you don't know the game, if you're not reading and reacting to things quick enough, even if you're the supreme athlete, you're not going to get there fastest. Next on the list here is tackle. Okay, the Buffalo Bills between Spencer Brown, Brandon Shell, Alec Anderson, David Quessenberry, and also another rookie on the list here, Richard Garage, could surprise a lot of people here. And I really think the competition is going to be so fierce between Spencer Brown and Brandon Shell. I really think that's who we're going to be eyeing up here. And when Spencer Brown got hurt last year, Quessenberry filled in and did a really, really good job. And I was wondering at times, why aren't we starting David Quessenberry over Spencer Brown? He was definitely playing better. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens here with Spencer Brown coming into 2023 with a full, healthy offseason, unlike his offseason heading into 2022. Now, these are all excuses, but this is really going to be Spencer Brown's make or break year. Whether he's going to be a solidified starting right tackle in the NFL or will his career only be a swing tackle where he could play right, he could play left. We want to see who's going to be that perimeter edge tackle for Josh Allen to protect our franchise, protect this entire team. This team flows off our offense, and if Josh Allen is not protected like last year, it's not going to be good. Next, most important positional need for the Buffalo Bills clearly is middle linebacker. Now, it's really funny. I am driving across country. You guys have been following me. I got my one wheel behind me. I did make my bed. I know a lot of people were saying last year in my hotel video, your bed's not made, make your bed. Well, I made my bed. I made my bed for you guys, but I put my one wheel on it. So I've been going everywhere on my one wheel. I'm going to be releasing videos on my other channel, Matthew Manziel, but I'm like off grid, no internet. It's been absolutely crazy. Pictures. Check me out on Instagram. Bills News Consolidated on Instagram. I've been releasing videos there. And what's really funny about all this is when I first left, probably all the way into like Kentucky area, I was driving behind Dorian Williams. And it's funny because it was a Buffalo Bills license plate, and it was like something in the number 42, and I was like, well, what the heck? And I checked it out. Obviously, Dorian Williams. I was like, what? Are you guys kidding me right now? So I really think Dorian Williams, between Tyrell Dotson, who probably leads the pack right now, A.J. Klein, Balin Spector, Terrell Bernard, these guys, this is going to be the most fierce competition that we've ever seen in the McDermott era. Knowing that McDermott is calling plays this year, he wants to find his quarterback of his defense, the guy that's going to exude Sean McDermott on a play-to-play basis, the guy that's going to go out there, command this defense, make sure guys are all lined up properly, and do a great job. Now, A.J. Klein probably has the best understanding of Sean McDermott's defense, going all the way back to Carolina, right, playing with Luke Kuechly and Shaq Thompson and all these guys, understanding the game. But A.J. Klein is here to teach the other players, to have that unselfish approach, to help guys like Dorian Williams, Tyrell Dotson, Balin Spector, Terrell Bernard get up to speed. And I really believe all of them are going to be competing for that middle linebacker spot. It's going to be very, very interesting to see. I love Dorian Williams. If Dorian Williams, that extra speed factor, that 4.4940, clearly the fastest linebacker on this team, able to fly around, able to do some big-time things in pass coverage. With Bobby Babich, our old safety coach, now linebacker, helping out with the linebackers, right? Trying to create these hybrid linebackers. I really, really love Dorian Williams and all these guys. Terrell Dotson, Balin Spector, Terrell Bernard. It's going to be a fierce competition. But if you guys enjoyed this video, I deeply appreciate it if you hit like, subscribe. Every single like, subscribe really helps support me, helps support this channel. Still trying to get these videos out to you guys. I got a hotel, I got internet, but it's been really rough on the West Coast. I'm driving along Highway 1, Eureka, California right now. Appreciate you guys. Go Bills.